Hello, welcome. Thank you for stopping by. I am Unknown Emperor, and this Sunday or tomorrow, depending on when I decide to upload this video, AEW is presenting us with their latest pay-per-view titled Dynasty. Coming off of the heels of Revolution, they look to continue their storylines, close some off, start new chapters, and put on a great spectacle for us. So I'm here to drop my predictions for this event. Coming into it, there's a whole lot to offer. And that's why we're here, so we can piece it all together, see what we want, see what we don't want. If you're new to the Unknown Empire, an easy way to join is by hitting that follow button, subscribing to the channel, leaving a comment, letting me know that you were here, and sharing it with everybody that you know. If you're not new, I appreciate you for always stopping by. You more than welcome to comment, let me know what match you're looking most forward to with this AEW pay-per-view that we are having. And by chance, if you want to, go ahead and stop by. We most likely are going to have a live stream for the event. So be prepared to come by and place, talk to me while we talk wrestling. And AEW is giving us 10 matches for this card at the time of recording. They might mention more. It's going to be some on the pre-show. We got the top 3 matches I'm already looking forward to would be the Swerve Strickland, John Moxley match, the Megan Bain, Tony Storm match, and I would say the Hurt Business versus the Learning Tree. And that's only because I want to see what part MJF plays in that match. Y'all are more than welcome to let me know your predictions down below. Without further ado, with 10 matches on the card, it's a lot we need to get into. Let's get active. To really come out swinging with my predictions, I might as well start with my toply anticipated match, and that is the John Moxley taking on the Swerve Strickland match for the AEW World Championship. We are coming off of the tails of the Death Riders putting Swerve Strickland on a bed of glass with a power bomb from Claudio Castagnoli. This is also coming off of the heels of the Go Home show when John Moxley decided to paradigm shift Willow Nightingale after the match. A couple minutes before that, Marina did get hit with a house call, but she stepped in front of the bullet for John Moxley. Moxley went out of his way to hit Willow Nightingale with that paradigm shift. Another little wrinkle that we got coming from this story is Swerve Strickland admitted he was wrong to Hangman Adam Page. Hangman had ran up on Swerve in the backstage like, hey, I know you're looking for the Death Riders, but I already let you know that you're not going to get close to that title as long as I'm here. Swerve was like, man, this ain't got nothing to do with you, this, that, He was like, you broke into my home. Swerve was like, you burned mine down. Hangman was like, you made me. Swerve was like, I know. Hangman was taken aback. What do you mean? He's like, I know. Then he stormed off. That's a nice little wrinkle. I think Hangman is turning. I feel like he's going to get involved in this some way, shape, form, or fashion to where it's going to end up maybe a triple threat match at All In for that title. So I believe, even though Swerve was left laying here, I feel like Hangman's going to come out there to try to help, maybe, and then end up costing Swerve, which is going to lead to the triple threat match because Hangman beat MJF. I think that's going to somehow lead to him getting back into that title picture. This match has a lot of jeopardy in it because I wouldn't necessarily be upset if they gave the title to Swerve for this. Like, Hangman is the reason why Swerve ends up winning, and then they have the match at All In Texas. Like, I wouldn't necessarily get mad at that, but that's not what I'm predicting. I'm predicting that John Moxley finds a way, hook or by crook, to come out on top, and this story continues. Quick side note, a lot of people do not like the Death Riders storyline, but I do. I guess I'm a part of the minority. I enjoy the gruesomeness of it. I enjoy how they are dominant, but they're not really dominant. The Death Riders are mentioned in a lot of the storylines now more than they were in the beginning. So they're playing more of a part of the effect that they have on other wrestlers that are outside of their storyline. They're doing that more now, which actually helps to their aesthetics. But I just kind of like how they handle things, how they do business, like, you know, how stuff is taken care of. But I digress. I said all that to say, Swerve Strickland is my favorite wrestler of wrestling right now. Like, he is my number one wrestler throughout all promotions. Swerve Strickland. But I do not feel like the story is going to be intuitive, or, you know, it's not gonna necessarily benefit the story with him winning right now, depending on what story you're trying to tell. But my prediction, Jon Moxley comes out on top. To keep the trend of the Death Riders going, we're gonna head straight to the trios match that we are having, and that's Rated FTR taking on the trios champion of the Death Riders. That's Pac, that's Claudio, and that's Wheeler Yuta. And to me, I feel like that the Death Riders are going to walk away with the titles right here. There's no sense of it. FTR, or Rated FTR, has been fighting so much amongst themselves that they're just going to get in each other's way coming out of this pay-per-view and head into some type of program amongst themselves. Maybe FTR turns heel on Cope. Maybe Cope turns on FTR. We don't know, but there's no logical story to make them. There's not enough build. There's not enough meat and potatoes in this to turn the titles over. I see no jeopardy in this match. You know, I don't. Death Riders take the dub. Another match that I feel like has no jeopardy and just came out of nowhere. Well, obviously, but it's the Kyle Fletcher and Mark Briscoe match, and it's for the next round of the Owen Hart title. Mark Briscoe hadn't really done nothing on TV for like the past month or two, or at least on Dynamite television. Kyle Fletcher has been the one that they've been presenting, they've been showcasing, they've been calling him the proto star. And they might do another, like a Will v. Kyle part 3. You know, something along those lines. I feel like this match kind of continues to echo the no jeopardy part of it. Kyle Fletcher and Mark Briscoe is gonna put on one hell of a match when it comes to this Owen Hart tournament, because they are both two amazing wrestlers that's been doing it for so long. But Kyle Fletcher winning proves the better story, the better told, and then they can do the him versus Will Ospreay again. Continue that going, because that's gonna be the lifelong feud that never goes away until they become friends again later on. But Kyle Fletcher for the dub, which kind of leads me to the other part of that equation, which leads me to the next match prediction. It is Kevin Knight taking on Will Ospreay in the first round of the Owen Hart tournament. And I've never seen Kevin Knight wrestle, so I can't necessarily sit here. Well, no, I'm lying. I just seen him this past Wednesday wrestle. Him and Will Ospreay teamed up. But I can't really give myself like the better, you know, the gambling part of me would take the underdog, you know, just because it's the big money payout. But the logic person in me, since I'm talking to y'all, my unknown empire, in the headspace of doing this prediction, there's no way Will Ospreay is losing. I see Will Ospreay, now that Jay White gone, I see Will Ospreay making his way to the finals and challenging for the AEW World Heavyweight Championship later on. I see that. So I don't think Kevin Knight, this is Kevin Knight's night. Kevin Knight's night. Yeah. I don't think it's his night. I feel like this match is gonna turn a lot of people's heads. It's gonna give us more than we are expecting. At least for me, who hadn't seen Kevin Knight. But I think Will Ospreay walks away with the dub. We are having a unique Ring of Honor match on this card. It is Mask versus Title. Chris Jericho taking on Bandito for that Ring of Honor title. Bandito is putting up his mask. Bandito loses, his mask is gone. Bandito wins. He keeps his mask and he wins the Ring of Honor, the Ring of Honor heavyweight champion, the Ring of Honor TV title, the main belt for Ring of Honor. And with this match, it's a little bit of Jeopardy. Like, it's like a little bit of will he, won't he type, but it's like on what side? Because if you say that you're going into it thinking that Bandito is gonna win based off of the circumstances of it, then I would say, yeah, maybe you're right. It's none. But because the Chris Jericho is the Ring of Honor champion, and he is Mr. Nueve, he has been kind of changing his character up a little bit to where we can kind of lean on him a little bit more. Bandito is a nice wrestler. For what I've seen on Collision, what I've seen from the few times he's been on AEW, is Bandito is the personification of great wrestler who can add a little bit of goofy in it. And that's fine. I feel like they need to go ahead and give it to Bandito so he can stay on Collision, Ring of Honor, make that their title so they can start separating a lot of these titles and stuff that they show on AEW Dynamite. So my prediction, even with the learning tree getting involved, that Bandito is gonna come out on top, take the dub, keep his mask. Nueve is looking to become Mr. Diaz. And we brought up the learning tree, so it's only right that I bring up the AEW Tag Team Champions, the Hurt Syndicate, because they are defending those titles on the same night against the rest of the learning tree, the Redwood and the Bad Apple, Brian Keith and Big Bill. And this match has no jeopardy at all, none. I keep using the word jeopardy because, let me try to find another word. This match has no sense of I'm worried about who's losing. This match has no sense of they're losing their titles. The Learning Tree just won 2 matches against Top Flight and against 2 no-names. And Bobby Lashley told MJF he got to prove himself. So with all those factors, and with the Hurt Syndicate being the we hurt people type, like no nonsense, no bullshit type, handle business and get in, get out, they're not losing those titles, especially in a way that the program, like nothing that has a program. There's no long-term story to this. There's no emotion in this. There's no build up to it. At least for the tag team title point, MJF's going to get involved. The Hurt Syndicate are going to retain their titles. And this isn't going to be the proving point. Bobby's going to tell him to keep proving himself. That's going to be a fascinating storyline dynamic, and I can't wait to see where it goes. But the Hurt Syndicate is going to retain their tag titles. We can now take a look at the women's side of the Owen Hart's bracket. And the first match that we are getting off of this bracket is the TBS champion Mercedes Moné taking on the former TBS champion Julia Hart. I love both of these women. I appreciate both of these women. No way Julia Hart is beating Mercedes Moné right now. No way. No way. Shape, form, or fashion. She is beating Mercedes Moné, Miss 4 belts. It's just not in the cards right now. It's just not in the cards. I would love it if they pull an upset and Julia comes out and she makes her way through the tournament and challenge for the AEW Women's Champion. That's hopeful, wishful thinking. But I feel like it's an underlying storyline because everybody a part of this bracket. You got Athena, Billy Starks, Harley Cameron, Deanna? No, Thunder Rosa. Like, it's Chris Statlander. There's there's a couple of different storylines that you can kind of work from this. Julia Hart don't have as many as Mercedes Moné. Her losing right now would be counterproductive. And why not give Mercedes Moné another belt, which is the Owen Hart, cup belt? I don't know. And have her prance that big belt around. Or have the finals be Harley Cameron and Mercedes Moné and let Harley get the dub over Mercedes for the Owen Hart. And then instead of challenging the AEW champion, she challenges for the TBS and beat Mercedes Moné for the TBS championship. Hey, I don't know. But Mercedes Moné most definitely is going to get the dub from this. But this is going to be a nice match. Next match we have on the card is a title match. It is the third match between these two. It is the TNT championship match. No interference. No time limit. Adam Cole taking on Daniel Garcia. And it is here that I believe that Adam Cole is going to take that TNT championship from Daniel Garcia. I mean, what else? They really need to get rid of the TNT title together, like as a whole. There's no point in having it. There is none whatsoever. It cannot be on TV for 6 months. And then you just forget that they have it. They could just let it go. But I feel like this is gonna be, they might not even need the 20 minutes. They might not even need the 30 minutes. No time limits, no interference, one-on-one, mano-a-mano. Adam Cole's gonna come out on top. There is jeopardy in this one because I honestly don't know which way they would want to go. But for the sake of my predictions, it's Adam Cole. Daniel Garcia has done nothing with that title. He has done nothing whatsoever with that title. Nothing to kind of warrant him keeping it. And he's kind of he's deep off in his reign, so him losing it right now wouldn't necessarily hurt him because him keeping it hadn't helped him. So Adam Cole. Speaking of the many titles that AEW has to offer, we segue over to the international champion, Kenny Omega, defending it against Ricochet and Speedball Mike Bailey. This match is going to be one of the better ones on the card based off of the 3 individuals involved. Quick side note, I am loving Ricochet's character. I'm loving I'm loving the backwards hat, the way that he kind of, portraying around like he's that heel that you want to see lose. Because he makes it fun to make you want to see him lose. But Kenny Omega just won that title. He's not losing that title right now. Not right now. It's going to take some time. He's not losing that title right now. He's going to give us a great spectacle. It's going to be a point in that match where shit just kind of hits the fan and he's gonna be gassed. But he wasn't wrestling for a while, for over a year, I think. So he deserves that time to kind of get back in ring shape, get back feeling it, So Kenny Omega with the dub, retaining his title. And last and certainly not least in the match that we're gonna be going over with predictions, it is Toni Storm defending her AEW Women's Championship against Megan Bayne. And I want to go with the underdog right here. Like I said, not like I said. To me, it doesn't make any sense for Toni Storm to be losing that title right now. But if you want to build a star, if you want to make a game changer, Toni Storm losing that title right now does not hurt her. Megan Bayne winning that title right now can only push her to the moon. And I feel like we should do that. That's what I feel. My prediction is Toni Storm gonna retain her title. Now, how I feel like they should make a star. Toni Storm is probably number 3 on that wrestlers across all platforms. My 3rd wrestler on that list. I think 1 is Swerve Strickland. 2, Roman Reigns. 3, Toni Storm. I like what I like. But I said all that to say Toni Storm is going to win because I feel like AEW probably has more to offer with her. But if I'm writing it, this is how I would do it. Megan Bayne wins, probably with the help of Penelope Ford, you know, put the title on her, put a rocket on her back, make it like a feud between her and Penelope Ford. They don't really have much of a history unless it's something that I'm overlooking. And then like make Megan Bayne into like, since we just hot potatoed that women's championship, the last, because it was on Mariah May, put it on Toni Storm, take it from Toni Storm, put it on Megan Bayne, let her hold that title for a while. Maybe I don't know what I'm talking about. But that is most definitely concludes it. We have 10 matches on the card with more probably to be offered. And those are my predictions. You let me know in the comments down below what your predictions are. For the matches, I feel like we're going to have a couple of surprise returns. Maybe we have a Wardlow return. Maybe we have a surprise appearance. Not a surprise. Interference from MJF. Maybe we have an interference from Hangman. Maybe Christian Cage show his face. I feel like we might have a return in the Wakes. It's a lot that can come from this pay-per-view. And I'm all for it. Again, be on the lookout for that link because most likely I'm going to be live streaming it. If I'm not, then I will be back with something like what just happened. Maybe not. But I do appreciate y'all. Until next time, y'all have a blessed one. Enjoy wrestling. Don't be toxic. See you next time.